People who smoke weed regularly as teenagers remember fewer words as they entered middle age, according to a new study published by, wait, that's not it.
I guess,
the guy who invented the shopping mall just died. Ironically, the only people who attended the funeral were men carrying their wives' purses and unattended screaming kids. Japan's fashion industry is experimenting with robot models. They're unemotional, pre-programmed, and you don't have to feed them. The only difference between their models and U.S. models is, there's no difference. This Ohio woman went to jail because she ordered adult magazines in a neighbor's name as a payback after being charged with a misdemeanor complaint made by the other woman. And when asked to comment, her husband said, "I can't believe she was sent to jail over this, and where the hell are the magazines anyhow?" Hey, banker. A man in Italy received an 8-month suspended jail sentence for rolling 500,000 colored balls down Rome's famous Spanish steps in a protest. He's protesting the lack of sex from his wife. Ironically, all the balls were blue. You know what blue balls are, don't you, boys and girls?
Yep.
Nope.
So Team USA dominated at the recent World Beard and Mustache Championship. They consisted of 8 Amish guys and an Italian grandmother. Yeah. And bakers in Minneapolis baked up the world's hugest cupcake, weighing in 131 pounds. And also weighing in 131 pounds in Minneapolis. Oh, nobody. You know, the all-girls Sarah Lawrence is the most expensive college in the U.S. with a $54,410 annual tuition. That's a lot of fucking money to learn how to become a lesbian, if you ask me. On Sunday morning, a priest wakes up and decides to go golfing. He calls his boss, says he feels kind of really sick and he won't go to work. Way up in heaven, St. Peter sees all this and he says to God, "Are you really going to let him get away with this?" And God says, "Nah, I guess I better not." So the priest drives about 5 to 6 hours away so he doesn't bump into anyone he knows. The golf course is empty. He gets there. So he takes his first swing, drives the ball 495 yards away, and gets a hole-in-one. St. Peter watches in disbelief and says, "Why did you let him do it?" And God says, "Who the hell's he going to tell?"
Yeah, no one's going to believe him.
He can't tell anybody because he skipped work.
Yeah, because he skipped work. Yeah.
A musical director is having a lot of trouble with one drummer. He talked and talked and talked with this drummer, but the performance simply just didn't get better. And finally, before the whole orchestra, he says, when a musician just can't handle his instrument and doesn't improve when given help, they take away the instrument, they give him 2 sticks and make him be a drummer. And a stage whisper is heard from the percussion section. And if he can't handle even that, they take away one of his sticks and make him be the conductor. A young ventriloquist touring the clubs is doing a show in a small town in Arkansas with his dummy on his knee, goes through the usual dumb blonde jokes when a blonde woman in the second row stands on her chair and screams, "I've heard enough of your stupid blonde jokes. What makes you think you can stereotype women that way? What's the color of a person's hair got to do with their worth as a human being? It's guys like you keep women like me from being respected at work and in the community and from reaching our full potential as a person. Because you and your freaking kind continue to perpetuate discrimination against not only blondes but women in general, and you do it all in the name of humor." Quite taken aback, the embarrassed ventriloquist begins to apologize, but the blonde yells again, "You stay out of this, mister. I'm talking to that little bastard on your knee."
Yeah.
Young couple married just a couple of weeks returned from their honeymoon to face the beginning of their new lives. And the next morning, the husband wakes up, showers, dresses, and makes his way to the kitchen where he sees his new wife crying. So he's like, "What's wrong, honey?" "Well, I came down here this morning to surprise you with a big breakfast, but I can't cook or clean." The husband smiles. He goes, there, sweet. I don't care you can't cook or clean. Come on up to the bedroom. I'll show you what I'd like for breakfast. So they go up to the bedroom.
No.
That afternoon, he comes back for lunch and finds the new wife crying again in the kitchen. "What's wrong now, sweetie?" "Well, same thing as this morning. I came in here to make you something for lunch. I just can't cook." And again, the husband smiles and says, "Why don't you come back up to the bedroom and I'll have my lunch there." So they go back to the bedroom again. Well, that night, the new husband comes home, walks in the house, and sees the bride naked, sliding down the banister of the stairs. Up she runs, whoosh, down the banister. After the third trip, the husband's like, "What are you doing, honey?" "I'm warming up your supper," she says.
Yeah.
And there you go, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, do I need to stop here, buddy? It's 8:50.
Oh, do a couple more. Do a few more. I'll just
A lawyer and his two friends. That's a rabbi and a Hindu, a holy man. They had car trouble on the countryside, and they asked to spend the night with a farmer. And the farmer said, might be a problem. You see, I only have room for 2 to sleep, so one of you got to sleep in the barn." "No problem," says the rabbi. "My people wandered in the desert 40 years. I'm humble enough to sleep in a barn for an evening." But with that, he goes to the barn. The others bedded down for the night. But minutes later, knocks heard at the door. The farmer opens it. There's the rabbi. "What's wrong?" says the farmer. The rabbi says, "I'm grateful to you, but I can't sleep in the barn. There's a pig in the barn. My faith believes that it's an unclean animal." His Hindu friend agrees to swap places, but a few minutes later, the same scene reoccurs. Knock on the door. "What's wrong now?" The Hindu holy man says, "I'm grateful you're helping us out, but there's a cow in the barn. In my country, cows are considered sacred. I can't sleep on holy ground." Well, that leaves just the lawyer to make the change. So he grumbled and complained, but he went to the barn. Minutes later, another knock on the farmer's door. Frustrated and tired, the farmer opens the door, and there stood the pig and the cow. We're sleeping with that motherfucker. This old farmer got pulled over by a young state trooper for speeding, and the trooper, fresh on the job, decided to throw his weight around, started lecturing the farmer about his speed, did his best to make the farmer feel uncomfortable, but eventually he got around to writing the ticket. And as he wrote, he had to swat several flies buzzing around his head. "Having some problems with the circle flies there, are you?" asked the farmer. The trooper stopped writing the ticket, and he looks up and goes, "Yeah, that's what they are. I've never heard of circle flies, though." "Oh, yeah, pretty common on farms," says the farmer. "We call them circle flies because they're always circled around the back end of a horse." I see, says the English writer. All of a sudden, he stops and he looks up and he goes, "Hey, wait a minute. You trying to call me a horse's ass?" "Oh, no, officer," says the farmer. "I have far too much respect for law enforcement and police officers even think about calling you a horse's ass." "Oh, no." "Well, it's a good thing," says the trooper as he resumes writing that ticket. And after a long pause, the farmer said, "Hard to fool them flies, though." Little Timmy hears a rustling in his parents' bedroom, so he pushes the door open and finds his dad upon his mom going at it, and they both look at Timmy, but they finish what they're doing. And when they finish, the dad says he'll take care of the whole thing. He goes in Timmy's room, opens the door, finds Timmy on top of Grandma. Dad says, "Timmy, what the hell are you doing?" Timmy says, "Ain't so damn funny when it's your mom now, is it?"